If I stop every now and again, it's because I'm going to be admitting people or giving them access through the waiting room. So hopefully that doesn't mess things up. If you notice anyone sitting in there, I don't know if you can even see it from your end, just flick us through a quick message. But man, I'm excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this for about 8 weeks. It was about 8 weeks ago when I decided I was going to run this event for today. I guess I credit this topic for the #1 contributor to changing my direction in life. There's many ingredients, there's many pieces to the puzzle that I believe to create a successful life, a life of abundance, I guess a life that you don't need a vacation from. But this for me has been the #1 contributor. And I'm going to run through reasons why I believe that's the case for me. And I guess just as a disclaimer, I'm no professional in this space. I've done a lot of research here. I've plugged into a lot of training in this space, and I'm almost into my second decade now. Almost into my third decade. I've almost completed 20 years of manifestations and affirmations, and so there's a lot of stuff out there online. I guess I was probably pretty deep into this stuff, or I guess consistently practicing these sort of things when that movie The Secret was a big deal. I was probably already doing this for like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years when the movie and the book The Secret came out, and I loved it. I really do. I sort of think it's a bit more of an entertaining thing than completely factual, but there is some good stuff in there. But the frustration for me with that becoming popular was, I think it took a little bit of, I guess it increased the haters out there for this type of thing, right? It increased those people that go, oh, that's all rubbish, that doesn't work. And I sort of feel like that book and that movie positioned it like, just thinking positive about things just makes it happen. And that's not the case at all. If I'm thinking, there's no weeds in the garden, there's no weeds in the garden, there's no weeds in the garden, it's not going to do jack, right? There's always going to be the weeds in the garden unless I get off my butt and pull them out or do something about it. So positive thinking and the law of attraction, I guess, as it's become that catchphrase for it, isn't the be all and end all here. But I'm going to share my screen because I've put together a bit of a slide presentation to, I guess, just to guide me through this and help through this. If you guys, I guess first thing, it would be awesome if you jump into the chat and let us know where you're coming in from, because there's people all over the world here, which is awesome. As I said, I'm here in Fiji, and what's crazy is the very house that I'm sitting in right now, or the deck out the front, I literally manifested this into my life. Crazy, which I'll talk to at the back end of this presentation. But let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you have any questions or anything along the way, feel free to fire them through into the chat feed or keep them up to the end. If we've got some time at the end, I'll open up and we'll do a bit of a Q&A and even share some stories. If you guys have some stories around manifestation, I always find it inspirational and motivational when I hear other people's experiences and success in this space. So I'll jump in and share my screen right now. So hopefully you guys can see that. So affirmations and manifestations. We're going to start with the affirmations part, and I'll see if I can keep the chat up here so I can keep tabs on all of that. Awesome. Melbourne, New Zealand, Vegas. Awesome. All the places that I'd love to be visiting if flights were open. Cool. All right. So let's kick this off. So what are affirmations? I guess I wanted to just frame this up at the beginning because I have no idea whether you've got zero experience at all in this or whether you've been practicing for a while. But affirmations. So it's brief phrases repeated frequently that are designed to encourage and attract positive and happy feelings, thoughts, and attitudes. So they're positive phrases or statements that we use to challenge negative thoughts and reprogram the subconscious patterns we've developed from birth through life experience, whether that's good or bad. This stuff is, it creates these patterns, it creates these habits, these habitual thoughts and feelings and activities. It's life that programs us for that. We're a blank canvas when we get started. And so all of this stuff happens. Now, we don't have control of everything that happens to us. We can just control how we feel and how we react about that. And let's face it, when we're young and when we're growing up, when we're very impressionable, when the blueprint for this is being built, most of us aren't switched on enough to understand that it's not going to serve us to focus on the negative. It's not going to serve us to, live and breathe that stuff and take that with us. So affirmations, we can help reprogram that, and now that we're at a point where we've got awareness around it, we can set ourselves up better. So what do? So they help us to change our limiting beliefs. A lot of us, me personally, I've had crazy limiting beliefs, and the far out, I guess, left out of my head thinking that I didn't even realize when I until I started this journey, like, as I said, 18, 20 years ago, was the fact that my limiting beliefs, most of them, they weren't even through my own experiences. These things were passed down from my parents. They were just throwaway phrases that my parents were saying that just stuck with me, and I lived and breathed and experienced those sayings. And now that I've come down this path and I've really had awareness around all this stuff, when I talk to my parents about it, it's not even theirs. It's not even their experience and their belief. It's a saying they got from their parents. So, how far back down the line are we living out things that happened, way back? It's way back down the line where this stuff became a belief and became a pattern, and they became habitual and passed on to ourselves. So we can change that. We can use them to motivate ourselves, encourage positive changes in our lives. How good does it feel when somebody encourages you, when someone gives you a compliment, when someone says something positive to you? It feels amazing. So why don't we do it to ourselves? Why do we, I guess the talk inside of our head often is negative talk, and I'm going to touch on that as well. So it helps boost our self-esteem and undo negative self-talk. So what we say to ourselves, we can speak into existence. Have you guys ever had that? I guess there's even documents and memes out there and all this sort of stuff, but thoughts become words and actions, and actions produce results. So thinking is literally saying things to ourselves. When I stop and think about what is thinking, thinking is asking and answering questions and making statements to ourselves. So if what we say to ourselves, we can speak into existence, we can live into existence, we want to make sure we're saying good stuff. Now, can that be 24/7? Or I guess, however many hours we're awake each day? Absolutely not. But it doesn't have to be, which I'll go into. So affirmations can attract the things you want, or could even be what's holding back you from being the best version of you in all areas of your life right now. So if you are proactively embracing affirmations and have awareness around what you're doing, yes, they can absolutely move you to where you want to be. If you are just going with the flow, if it's just happening to you through no action of your own or positivity or proactivity of your own, then it's probably what's holding you back. It could be one of the things that's holding you back. So how can you use that power? So obviously first up is having that awareness. So having awareness that you want to be proactively doing your own affirmations by design, but also having awareness around what you're actually doing and saying. So listening to your language. How often do we say things like, I can't, I don't have time, I'm too busy, I'm stressed? All of these sort of things are affirmations when you repeat them over and over and over and over again. You know, there was a time about 16, 17 years ago, actually maybe not that long, maybe 15 years ago, I walked on hot coals, you know, like the, I guess the Pacific Islanders and so forth, who will walk on these hot coals bare feet. So I did that, and it was affirmations were a big part of that. It was just repeating affirmations over and over and over and over again to get myself in this peak state, to get myself into a point where, you know, I could bend the rules, I guess, and be able to walk through. But when I was doing that, I was with a group of people, and some of those people were listening to their negative language. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm scared of this. I don't want to do that, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they couldn't lie to themselves. And they would get halfway across these hot coals and burn their feet. Whereas the people who had the strength, the willpower, and the strong affirmations were getting straight across. So you want to create your own positive affirmations in the following areas. Now, this is, as I said, this is all through my own experience of where I create affirmations. So I like to do one for business, career, my finances, and assets, that money sort of wealth area of my life. And that's actually, for me, that's the first place I started affirmations. My very first affirmation I ever did was in that space. And you know what's crazy? As I say, it's like 18 years or so ago now, I still use the same affirmation. Now, when I started that affirmation, I was getting paid $17.20 an hour as a cabinet maker, working anywhere from 55 hours a week. That was the shortest I ever did. Most of the time it was more like 65, 70 hours. My average was probably like closer to 70 hours a week. So the affirmation that I started back then, and it's like literally tattooed into me on the inside, is I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. Now, when I first started saying that, money was not coming to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. But, and at the beginning, I felt like an idiot. I really did. And I would be saying it quiet. I'd be saying it in my head. But as I started to get more and more belief around this, as I started to do more and more research, I would be saying this out loud, walking by myself on the beach at like 5:30 in the morning, not even caring what other people were saying to me. And you know, it would have been easy for me to quit that, to give that up, to worry about observations or judgments others are making. But it didn't take long before money started to come to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. Now, I can guarantee you some of those people that were probably laughing at me while I'm walking along the beach saying this thing out loud to myself, they're probably still stuck in the same position that they were, you know, 18 years ago. And, you know, my life's gone gangbusters through actioning this one thing. So business, career, financial, and assets. Physical health and nutrition. We want to put strong, powerful affirmations around our health and our nutrition. You know, when we see ourselves in the mirror, what are we seeing? What are we saying to ourselves? Are we saying, oh, I don't like this lump, I don't like this bump, I don't like this wrinkle, or whatever? Or are we saying, man, you're a lean, mean athlete, you know, you're healthy, wealthy, and wise type thing? What are you saying to yourself in your head and into the mirror? You want to set positive, good affirmations around this. Relationships and connection. You want to set positive affirmations around who you are, what type of relationships you have with everyone around you, everyone who's important. Personal growth and skill set. You know, I have people say things all the time when they say, and just seeing this through day-to-day life, oh man, I've got a really bad memory. There's no good or bad memories. Everyone's got a memory, right? But if you keep telling yourself, I've got a bad memory, I've got a bad memory, you're gonna live it. You can absolutely have a fantastic memory. You just got to believe it and strengthen it up. Contribution, you know, contributing to others. Set some affirmations around this so that it becomes a habit. It becomes something that you're doing on a regular basis to contribute to others. There's a whole nother training, which I might do at some point through this lifestyle company around human needs. The things we're doing all the time to survive. We have six human needs that we meet every single day. And four of them are for momentary pleasure, and two of them are, they bring sustainable joy, basically. And one of those is contribution, and the other one is growth. So having good affirmations around personal growth and contribution can absolutely give you sustainable joy if you're focusing on those areas all the time. There's a universal law: if we're not growing, we're dying. So we want to be growing. We want to start that with a positive affirmation. And then spiritual. You know, you want to be very spiritually connected. Some people would call this religion. You know, for me, it's more of a universe type thing, a nature type thing, a mother nature, you know, the source. You know, I want to be extremely connected to that side of things. And actually, you know, as I mentioned, religion, when I think of affirmations and manifestations, you know, religion has been embracing this sort of stuff for years. That's what prayer is. You know, it's affirmations and it's manifestations. And so, yeah, they've I guess the proof is in the pudding for this stuff working for centuries. So you want to create some success habits around affirmations. Just saying it once, you know, creating it, writing it down somewhere and sticking it in the drawer. Okay, it's better than not doing it. But what you want to do is you want to schedule in some time when you can practice and say these affirmations, speak them out loud. You know, maybe it's for me, it's writing it in the front of my diary. Look, I'll show you here. I don't know if you can see that in the screen, but I have my affirmations in every area of my life, highlighted, color coded to match my goals in that same area, and written down. And every single day I read them. Some of them I've been saying for years, and they're just memorized. They're programmed in. Some of them I've got to sit through and read. And then consistency, you know. So as I say, schedule it to do on a consistent basis. For me, it's first thing in the morning, you know, when I'm going through my startup, my hour of power, as I call it, which started off, you know, when I got started in this space, it definitely wasn't an hour. It was about 10 to 12 minutes of you know, making sure I'm doing my affirmations, my manifestations, my breathing exercises, all of that sort of stuff. But, you know, as I got more and more freedom in my life, more and more success in different areas, it allowed me to put more time into that space. So now that for me is a minimum of an hour a day. Most of the time it's like 2.5 hours, and involves lots of different things. So we have some formulas and some examples to be able to help you create your own affirmations. There's a formula that you can follow. You know, making them as personal as you can makes it even more powerful. So on our website at thelifestyleofco.com, if you go to thelifestyleofco.com/resources, you'll find there's an affirmation resource there that's going to give you that formula. It's a document you can download, and at the beginning it's going to give you that formula to be able to create your own affirmations. But then it's also got some examples there for inspiration, and also, you know, plagiarism. Steal some of them, all of them, whatever. Mix it up, mix it together, personalize it, whatever you need to do. Grab that resource. But if we think about, I guess there's something that I've realized through my life, that, and I've heard people say it a million times, where focus goes, energy flows. You know, whatever we focus on, we move towards, or it moves towards us. We gravitate towards whatever we focus on. And so, you know, affirmations, do they do amazing, mystical, like almost magical things that just bring this stuff into existence in our lives? For me, I don't really believe it does that. But what I do believe that they do is shift our focus to, one, recognizing things that are there. You know, when people get up in the morning and something goes wrong, and then a little bit later in the day something else goes wrong, and they'll say to people, oh, you know, I got out of the wrong side of the bed this morning, or this has gone, that's gone wrong, or, you know, these things come in threes, and they're just sitting there looking for the next thing to go wrong. Of course they're going to find it. You know, think about life as being a search engine. Like, think about Google. If you're looking for something on Google, you're going to type in what you're looking for, and Google's going to spit it straight back out at you, exactly what you're looking for. Whether it's true or not, it's irrelevant. It's what you're looking for. You could type in the craziest thing like Mother Teresa's the devil, or the Queen is a reptilian, or whatever. You can type in crazy stuff, and that search engine is going to pump that stuff out at you and move you towards what you're focusing on. Life is going to do the same. Life is a search engine that is programmed to throw exactly back at you what you're putting into it. When you hear of a story of someone losing control in a car on a highway out in the middle of nowhere, in Australia, we've got paddocks and big stations. There's just nothing for miles. And they'll go off into a paddock that has one telegraph pole in the middle of the paddock, and they'll smash into the telegraph pole. And it's like, what's the odds of that? And it's because when they're out of control, they're looking at the telegraph pole, focusing on the telegraph pole, telling themselves, don't hit the telegraph pole, don't hit the telegraph pole, don't hit the telegraph pole. And whether you're saying don't, yes or no or whatever, the universe doesn't get that, and it's going to head you towards it, and that's why they hit there. So manifestation. This is where I'm going to get a little bit deep and right into how you can even manifest if you've never done any manifestation before. So what is manifestation? So to manifest something is to bring it out of the world of dreams or make-believe or thoughts and establish it in our daily life. So it's matching the energetic vibration of what we want. So that is so important, that phrase. Manifesting is matching your energetic vibration to that of exactly what you want. So everything in the world is vibrating, and it's vibrating at all different frequencies. So the thing that I love about manifestation is it's actually like science-based. Manifestation is a science-based thing. It's not there's actually, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's called the double slit experiment. It's a quantum physics experiment that when I first saw the double slit experiment, in my head, I could understand that anything is possible and the observer is in control of it, basically. The observer determines the outcome. So it's all about energetic vibration. So what we're doing when we're manifesting is we're making our intention known to the universe so that the universe can provide. So as I said, whether it's religion and you're letting it known to your God or Mother Nature, the universe, whatever it is, it's making your intention known to the creator, I guess, or the all-powerful so it can provide. So how does it work? Now, remember, this is my opinion, and I guess it's come about through my own experiences. You can embrace this stuff or you can file it in the bin, but this is the way I believe manifestation works. And as I said, I'm almost 20 years into it now, and I've done a lot of research along the way. And there's a lot of stuff that's rubbish out there that I do not believe in at all. And it frustrates me that people pump it out there, and because then good people like you and I might not even practice this stuff because, we've read half of it being rubbish. So like attracts like is a phrase that gets thrown around a lot. And I buy into that phrase in certain areas, and I completely, physically, with my own eyes, see it not work in other areas. Now, like attracts like, I totally 100% bought into this phrase when it comes to people. Like attracts like. I can almost guarantee you the people who are on this webinar right now, if we were all in a social situation, let's say, how many are on here right now? So we've got only 12 on here right now, right? Let's say we're in a room of around about 100 people, 150 people, and it's a social sort of gathering. I could just about guarantee that if we hung around there long enough, the 12 of us would end up together in a certain area of the room, talking together, having conversations, hanging out, having fun. Like definitely attracts like from a people perspective. We have things in common, we have common interests, we attract. those people into our lives. Now, think from a business point of view. If you're, if you're a high-flying entrepreneurial business person, you're going to usually attract those type of people and hang with those type of people because that's what you're putting out. But what about those high-flying business people that go under the radar? The ones that dress almost like a bum, right? They don't dress up like they're sharp and they're going somewhere. And so they can go along and be very antisocial and not even attract the same type of person as them because they're putting out something different to who they are. Now, if we think about a magnet, if I use what people say, it's a scientific, it's a universal law, like attracts like. I'm thinking you guys have obviously never seen a magnet, because if I get the positive end of a magnet and the positive end of another magnet, they are identical. And if I go and try and put them together, they will push themselves apart. They will literally go, they will not stay together. They're not comfortable. It's a scientific universal law that pushes apart. So don't just think of like attracts like when you're manifesting. It's flawed, right? In my opinion, as I say. So we attract what we think about. That's what happens. There's actually science around it, and I probably should have put a little bit of that into this, around what they call our RADS, our reticular activating system. So it's a certain part of our brain that is programmed to have us focus on things that are familiar to us. So here's the best way I find to explain it. I'm a car guy, right? I love cars. And let's say there's a new car that I want to get. And I've never thought about it before. It might not even be a new car, as in it's not new. It'd be new to me, but it's not a new invention. And all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get one of those. And then I see it everywhere. And it's like, man, that car might have been 10 years old, 15 years old. And now I'm seeing it everywhere. They were always there, but I never even saw it because my reticular activating system, my RAS, wasn't bringing that out. So we attract what we think about, whether it's getting pulled towards us, whether it was already there and now we're just recognizing it. Hey, I got no idea how that works, but it's what we are programming into ourselves, what we're thinking about. So the universe doesn't understand yes or no. The same as what I said with affirmations. It doesn't understand. So here's a great example for that. And I've shared this a little bit in my goal setting workshops around debt. People have goals of getting out of debt. I've got to reduce debt. I've got to pay off debt. I want to get out of debt. So what's the common phrase that they're saying there is debt. So they're putting out debt, debt, debt everywhere. They're thinking it, they're living it, they're breathing it, they're feeling it, they're doing everything around debt. So the universe keeps providing debt, or keeps providing the situations and circumstances for them to keep themselves in debt. So it's not yes, it's not no, it's not I want this, it's not I don't want this. You need to focus on what you do want. Okay, that's what it has to be, the positive side of things. And as I said, it works on the energetic vibration. So you are vibrating a certain way right now, and you are you're attracting those things that have you in that energetic vibration, or your awareness is showing you those things that have you in that energetic vibration. So that's what you're going to continue to get. You know, you see this where people have their lives drastically changed or impacted or altered, and they're heading off in another direction, but sooner or later they'll come back to exactly where they were. So that happens through relationships. It happens through like lotto wins and all sorts of things, because what disrupted them wasn't them. It was an external thing, and it didn't stick and it didn't last. So for me, manifestation is getting myself in the vibrational match of exactly what I want and what that wants to be. And that's off in the future, right? That's not me now. That's not me today. I do it today, but it's to match how I want to be in the future. So it tricks your body into putting out that energetic vibration of your future desired result, but it does it in the present moment. So you're all probably vibrating slightly different to what you were 5 years ago, which is why your life's slightly different. But if you started vibrating the way you are now 5 years ago, those changes would have happened a lot sooner. I know this sounds airy-fairy and fluff and hippie talk, and the thing that frustrates me is that's what I got brought up. I got brought up to think that this is all rubbish, this is all fluff, this is all that hocus pocus rubbish. But I'm telling you, it's been the number one thing to shift every area of my life. So your power comes from believing. Belief. It all comes down to belief. It comes down to believing it's possible and getting everything, every cell in your body to not only believe it's possible, but believe it's done. So you're tricking yourself. You're short-circuiting that system. We've got, so here's the common sense thing as well. Compare human beings to every single other living thing on the planet. We are worlds apart from every single other living thing. Even, I think we share 90% or 99% of our DNA or whatever with chimps. I've got no idea what the statistic is, but we're miles apart from them. I read something the other day, chimpanzees have just gone into the Stone Age now. So they've evolved over however many years, and they're starting now to use tools, rocks, sticks, these sorts of things. And so they're just going into the Stone Age. Look at us. I'm talking to you guys through a screen on an island in the Pacific to wherever you are in real time. Like, we are miles ahead of everything else. Now, a duck can't affect its actions outside of its programming. I guess in America, they fly north for the winter, or whatever it is, south for the winter, or whatever it is. I'm an Aussie, so I'm probably going to get that wrong. They fly south for the winter, I think they do, right? Now, whether they want to fly south or not, they can't change that. They are programmed to do that. They can't go, oh my God, this guy's a nice guy. He's got a good house. He has a fire going all the time. If I hang here, he's going to chuck me some bread every day, and I can just chill in front of this fire and get through the winter. And then, when summer comes, I'll just join my mates again. I don't even have to fly south. They can't do that. They are at the mercy of their programming, whereas we aren't. We have those programmings in us, but we can be the programmer. That's what manifestation is. That's what affirmations is. It's reprogramming ourselves. Now, if you don't believe you can, then you're not going to do it. If you're going through and even practicing manifestation and you don't have the belief that it's going to work, it's not going to work. We have a word for that. It's called placebo. You guys would have heard of the placebo effect. When they're doing medical trials, they will give different drugs to different people, and one of them will be a nothing drug. It might just be like a sugar pill or something. It'll be a nothing drug. And some of those people will have a positive result. Some of those people's body will heal themselves of the illness or disease because they mentally believed that it was going to work. That's how powerful it is. So whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And so, in my opinion, our power with manifestations, it all comes from believing. By believing it so, we create it so. That is a phrase that I've used every day, basically, for 18 years or so. So, how does it work? I love this. This should seal the deal in your head for how important vibration is, because this here is a massive, gigantic, beautiful, I might add, oak tree. Love to just chill out under that tree for a few hours. Now, this is an acorn. So, is that oak tree inside that acorn? Some people say there's an oak tree and an acorn. I think, common sense, I go, the oak tree is not in the acorn. How can that be in there? So here is how that oak tree ends up. Like, picture that oak tree not being there. It is just a field, right? It's an open area. There's nothing there. And now there's this gigantic, beautiful oak tree there. And that all started from that acorn. Now that acorn vibrates at a certain frequency. And the ingredients that are needed to create that oak tree are attracted to that vibration. So the oak tree, the acorn vibrates at a certain frequency that it goes into the ground, and that frequency changes slightly to attract the vitamins, the nutrients, the minerals, the sunlight, the water, all these ingredients and organize them in a certain fashion that starts to grow an oak tree. So every single seed vibrates at a different frequency when I stop and think about that. So you can't grow a lemon tree from an acorn, an oak tree seed. You can't grow a tomato from an avocado seed, because they vibrate at a certain frequency and they bring those exact minerals, nutrients, and so forth together in an organized fashion, and put them together in an organized fashion to create that. So an acorn manifests a moke tree, manifests an oak tree. That's how this works for me. So, disclaimer: manifestation doesn't bring you the material thing. You know, as I said with the weedy garden, it's not like I can manifest like a 12-kilo bar of gold, and you know, I'm manifesting it, I believe it, and it's not like next minute a bar of gold appears in front of me. It's not going to bring you the material thing. It brings people, situations, and circumstances into your life, or at least into your awareness. As I said with our RAS, maybe they're already there, maybe they're not, I don't know, and I don't really care. All I know is when I manifest, I am aware that these people, these situations, and these circumstances continue to happen in my life that allow me then to bring those ingredients in to create the oak tree. You know what I mean? To create whatever it is that I'm manifesting. So it's one component of many. Manifestation for me is one component of many. If I just manifested things, if I just practice manifestation, yes, those situations, circumstances, those people, those relationships, those things would still line up and they would be there. But if I didn't take any action, they wouldn't happen. So when I'm manifesting, it shifts my awareness to those people, those situations, and those circumstances. Then it allows me to take some action to then produce that result in my life. I hope that makes sense to you. It's not, and this is the thing where people say, hey, you can just manifest that into your life. You can, you know, that can happen. It just can't happen. I just don't believe that can happen. Yeah, that is the airy fairy stuff. But certainly the ingredients for it, it certainly can. You certainly can manifest it. And things, I'll share something at the end if you guys want to hang around, but I won't do it now in case you're not interested in it. But I've got one manifestation story that is just mind-blowing as to how the people, the situations, and the circumstances lined up. Now, this is why I believe they're not always there, and it's not always about awareness. There's things that happened in my life that I cannot account for at all. Absolute luck that things have happened and that I've made that decision along the way, and it's happened. And I'll share some of those after. So how can you use the power of manifestation? So this is my formula, really. This is exactly the process I go through to manifest. Now, again, it started out for me as a morning thing, just practicing like 10 minutes in the morning, practicing manifestation. And I started to do it daily. And then little things started to happen. And then my belief grew, right? Because remember, a lot of this comes back to belief. So little things started to happen that I couldn't really account for. Then my belief goes to another level. So then I start manifesting more. So then I start doing morning and night. And then I start doing that consistently, like not missing a day, morning and night. And I start doing that for years, like 5 years of manifesting the same little process every morning and every night for 5 years. Then it gets to a point where I've programmed it so well into my day-to-day life and everything that I do. I'm physically feel like I'm manifesting almost 24 days, 7 days. I dream things of stuff that I want to happen. If I'm really working on a project, my dreams will be around that project and things happening or things not happening, or it's crazy. So this is a habit that can become subconscious. I subconsciously manifest things all the time, but remember, good or bad. So this is why we want to practice the good. So again, starting off with awareness. So first up, yes, we want to manifest. What do we need to do? Set some time aside daily. There's a lot of time in the day, right? We've all got the 24 hours. If we manage it correctly, if we become task management ninjas, we can set aside time every day. Everybody's got 10 minutes, right? So lock that in, whether you've got to stay up 10 minutes later, get up 10 minutes earlier. That's the easiest thing for me to get extra time. Lock that in every day. Then choose an intention. Choose one intention. Another area where I see people completely trip over the manifestation hurdle is just focusing on all these different things. And they're like, I want to manifest all this stuff. It's like, well, awesome, but do it one at a time. You can do one after the other in the same day, but choose one. And if you're starting out, start out easy. Set yourself up to win. Remember, I said it was having little things happen that gave me the belief to go further. And I really believe that's self-perpetuating and started the momentum for my manifestation. So choose an intention. That might be a person or a situation or something. Yes, you can manifest money. I've got manifestation stories around money that would blow your mind. And yeah, I'll go into those after if you want. So you choose the intention. Get into a comfortable spot. It's important to be really comfortable. You don't have to pretend you're not where you are. In actual fact, that's detrimental to it. I believe you need to stay in the present moment. I love to manifest on the beach. I've got a spot here. Like I've just set up like this little, we call it the love seat, my wife and I, this little bench that I've set up on the beach here. I love sitting there because it keeps me in the present moment because I can hear the waves. I can feel the breeze. Hear the birds or whatever it is, but I'm comfortable and I'm in the present moment. Because remember, manifesting is getting into the future vibration of what you want, but in the present moment. So you want to be comfortable. You want to center your mind and your body. I often do this through like breathing, taking deep breaths, relaxing, breathing in through my nose, out through my mouth. I also try and again, this is my experience. You might think I'm an absolute tripper and not tune into any of this or embrace any of this, but for me, it's my pineal gland, my third eye. When I close my eyes and breathe deep, I can almost feel like I'm looking through that. I look at and the picture that goes to my brain, like when you close your eyes, okay, it's dark, but there's still a picture that's going to your brain. When I can really switch off and go and center myself, that picture totally changes. It's a different kind of black at the beginning, and then it even changes further. So you want to do that, and then you want to, as I say, keep in the present moment. So don't get frustrated if, like here, for instance, if I'm doing that and then somebody else gets up in the house and lets the dog out, the dog might come running down past me and I might hear that. So yes, it's happened. Don't let it go, it stuffed me up. It's not worth doing now. It's just, they're there to keep you in the present moment, these things. So connect with your higher self. And for me, again, that's through that third eye. For me, I'm always picturing, almost connecting with something, someone, energy body, like my higher self, basically, even outside. It helps me to think that it's outside of the Earth's atmosphere. And then I open up the channel, right? And I just feel the energy and the light flowing from my higher self into my physical body, sitting in my little comfortable spot. So then what I do is I send that energy out of me. So using me as the conduit that's putting it out to everything, everyone, every person, every plant, everything. And I'm emitting that positive energy. And for me, I feel like this then gets me in control of my vibration, right? It gets me in control of the energetic vibration I'm putting out. So I'm sucking the juice and the energy and the vibration from my higher self, and then I'm putting it out. There's going to be some people that think I'm a real tripper after I'm talking about this. So then you focus on what it is that you want. That one intention. You focus. You want to see, feel, and sense as if it's already done. It's crazy when I'm doing this so many times, I'll just start to smile. I'm sitting there smiling. What does it feel like? I've done this with cars before. What does it feel like sitting in the car, holding that soft, suede steering wheel, the smell of the leather in there, and like the seat just hugging you. I just feel it all. I feel, sense absolutely like it's happened, like it's already done, and I'm already enjoying it. So let me just do this. So when you're doing that, you're sending out the energetic vibration of exactly what it is that you want. You know, think about, you've all done this. Most people have done this, but in the past. And there's things in our life that even trigger it. What about smells, sounds? What about songs? What about when you hear a song and you bang, it instantly changes your state, changes your vibration, puts you back to where you heard that? You know, maybe it's like a song that you've heard on a holiday or in a car. Like for me, I went on a lot of camping trips when I was young, and there's so many songs, like old ones that my parents would play when I'd be sitting in the back of the Kingswood, stuck with my skin to the burnt, the hot vinyl seat. And it's crazy. I go straight back there and I'm vibrating exactly like that. I'm feeling, living and breathing it. And it was just a song that triggered it. So these things are important to be able to bring from the future into our life, not just the things from the past, right? And that's what we're doing here in this process. So when you do that, every single thing around you has changed, and it's working towards bringing you what you need to make it happen in that moment. It's all in that moment, everything is changed. People say, it's just me, I'm just this, I'm just one person. If you actually realize that nothing in the universe would be the way it is right now if you weren't here. You know, here's my best way to explain it. I heard someone say this, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Bob Proctor. When we talk about the center, you know, I've said in here, we get ourselves centered, we connect to our higher selves, we center our breath, we center our intention. So we are the center of everything. Now, if I hold up this book, and if I look at this folder, I don't even know if you guys can see me because I can't see me right now, but hopefully you can see that on the screen. But if I want to find the center of that, it's easy, right? I measure from there, measure to there, measure there to there, bang, I can find the center. If I want to find the center of a three-dimensional object, I can do the same, right? And you can physically find the center of that. If I've got a ball, I don't know how to do it because I'm no mathematician, but you can physically find the center of that ball. This country, the country you're sitting in, you can find the geographical center of that. There's people who can work that stuff out. But how do you find the center of something that doesn't have an outer measurement? You know, we are part of the universe. No one knows how big, where it is. It's forever growing. They know that. It's expanding at a rate and it's picking up speed. So it is forever growing. So there is no one center. You as a life source, you as a human being, you as a creator, you're the center of this. And everything in the universe operates a different way because you're here. And so that's what we're doing here with this manifestation and the vibration. Going through these steps, you've changed everything around you already. Nothing is how it was. Hopefully I've been able to explain that the right way. And then I make sure I feel good. It feels good, trusting and knowing that it's taken care of. You don't have to worry about the details. You don't have to worry about how it's going to happen. You just trust and know and believe that it's taken care of. You've outsourced. That's the best way to think about it. You've outsourced the heavy lifting and the hard work. You don't even, who cares? It just happens. You know, the times when I've manifested for money in the past, it's like people go, well, where's the money going to come from? I don't care where it comes from, wherever it is right now. It's, you know, there's enough of it around, but I let you know, my higher self or whatever, the vibration, take care of that. So then what I want to do is release it. Once I know it's taken care of, then bang, I'm releasing it. I'm not putting my focus on that, and I'm opening myself up to receive a message from my higher self. And embrace it, whatever it is, embrace it and action it, accept it. These things, I can't explain it. Remember, I'm saying I'm no expert in this. This is my own experience. I can't explain it, and I don't know why, but I've had so many things just come to me. They're a thought, they're a message, and then I've actioned it, and crazy stuff's happened, like towards my manifestation. So accept it, accept the message. And ask yourself the question at the end of your manifestation, What's the next thing that I need to do, or what action do I need to take to bring forth my desire? And then every time I take an action, every time I do something for it, I ask that question again. What's the next step I need to do? Or what action do I need to take to bring forth my desire? I keep asking myself that through the day. When in the morning, when I sit there with my goals in my lifestyle here, when I open it up and I read my goals, I'm like, right, what is the next step I need to take? What's the next thing I can do to make this goal happen? And so I just keep asking myself that question, and I keep getting answers back or thoughts back. And then you want to wrap it up with an affirmation. So for me, this whole process is like 10, 15 minutes tops. For me, it's like 11 minutes, 12 minutes. So I finish it off with an affirmation. Now, for me, the affirmation that I use when I'm going through all this stuff is it's been the same forever, and it's a longish one. So it's up to you. You know, as I said at the beginning, use our affirmation formula thing in the resources tab to put your own together. But mine goes a little bit like this. So that which I seek is seeking me. I let go of how it will come to me, and I focus on my heart's desire. My higher self within me knows how to make it happen, so I just relax and let go. Everything I need to bring forth my desire is lovingly and harmoniously drawn to me. I accept this or something better. So that's it. I say that at the end of every one of my affirmations, at the end of my manifestations for my affirmations. So hopefully that has helped. As I said, it's my own sort of experience there with, years, I guess, years of not just learning about it, but practicing it along the way. So does anyone have any questions or want me to expand on any areas that I've shared there, or have anything that they want to share themselves? You can just if you tap your microphone, you'll be able to come off mute. No questions? Wow, cool.
Awesome. I just wanted to say that I don't have any questions. I think you explained it really well. I'm definitely going to be using your list of how to manifest 100%. Cool. I really like that end affirmation you used too.
Yeah, that's a cracker. So do you guys want to hear some of the crazy stuff I've manifested over the years? Yeah, sweet. All right. So remember I said people, situations, circumstances, there's things that have happened in my life that I cannot account for and involves others, right? So I said years ago, like I'm talking now, this is like 15 years ago, I was saying to people that, do you guys know Jack Johnson? You know, the music artist, sings that song Taylor, he's from Hawaii, plays the guitar. Anyway, there's a guy named Jack Johnson. I'm a massive fan. He sings some awesome, just chilled out, relaxed type music. And I was saying to people that I'm going to have Jack Johnson play at my 30th, right? So I'm 25 years old. I'm probably slightly naive, and I'm working my butt off to become massively successful, to be cash flowed enough to be able to ring up Jack Johnson's manager and say, hey, what does he charge for a gig? He's coming to my birthday, sort of type thing. And so I was manifesting to the point where I was even telling some people, close friends and family, 30th going to be a big one. Jack Johnson's playing, save the date type thing. And everyone's like, you dickhead, like laughing at me. And anyway, so by this point, I'm 29 years old, right? And my parents are going on this massive holiday through part of the US, and they're jumping on a cruise ship, and it stops off through Hawaii. And so I'm down at their house doing like this going away dinner. And we're sitting there at the dinner table talking, and I'm like, man, I'm so jealous of what you're doing, everything, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have a ball, enjoy it, you've earned it type thing. And then I say, hey, if you happen to bump into Jack Johnson when you're in Hawaii, can you just make sure that he's free on the 29th of November to come down for my birthday and put a gig on for my birthday? You're an idiot, laughing. Everyone's laughing at me. Yeah, Michael, the loser. And it's like, by that point, I'm still sort of laughing as well, right? I was half said it as a joke, because in the 5 years before that, my life hadn't gotten to where I thought it was going to get to for me to be able pay Jack Johnson to come and do it. So that was it. So anyway, my parents go on this holiday. They end up on this cruise. They're, stopping off at Hawaii, doing these little stop-offs and everything. And anyway, they booked themselves into this snorkeling trip. And it's one of those where you hop on a boat, it goes out to the reef somewhere, anchors up, and then you jump off and go exploring. And so they stop off at the spot. My mum's about to get in, and my dad walks up to the bar. And my dad loves a beer, right? And he goes up, and mum's like, "Are you coming snorkeling, Kevin?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm just going to have a couple of beers, and then I'll come in, while the boat's quiet," type thing. So he goes and sits at the bar, and the guy comes up, serves him, and he pulls his wallet out, and he goes, "Oh, no, this is an all-inclusive trip." So then my dad's like, "Oh, right, all-inclusive." So he's thinking, "I'm going to sit here and put a few beers away." And so mum's off snorkeling. Then this young guy comes and sits next to my dad. And dad turns around and goes, "Hey, did you know this was an all-inclusive trip?" And he goes, "No." And he goes, "Man, I'm not moving from here." So my dad and this young guy just start chatting away, drinking beers. Then my mum comes back going, "Where the hell have you been?" And he goes, "Oh, I've been sitting here. This is Josh." And they get chatting. Then Josh's partner comes back, and so they're all chatting. And it's my mum and dad's wedding anniversary. So they're heading back to the island where they were staying. And Josh says, "Hey, I'm going to take you guys to my favorite bar, because you're awesome, right? And take you out for your anniversary." So they go to this bar and they're chatting away. And then my mum goes, "So what do you do, Josh?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm a talent manager." And my mum goes, "Oh, really? Who do you manage? Anyone that we know?" He said, "Probably my biggest name is Jack Johnson." My mum's like, "No way." Right. And she goes, "You're not going to believe this, but my son's a massive fan, goes to all his gigs, got all his albums." He actually said to us, "If you happen to bump into Jack Johnson when you're there, can you see if he can come and play for my 30th? He's been saying that for years," and blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, "Oh, when's his 30th? And they go, "Oh, this year." And then he goes, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Where are you? Like, you're obviously Australian. You got an Australian accent. Where are you from?" And she goes, "Oh, we're from Adelaide." And then he goes, "What date's your son's 30th? And they go, Mum said, "It's the 29th of November." And he goes, "Well, we are going to be in Adelaide playing at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre on the 29th of November. There'll be tickets there for your son and however many people he wants to come along." Like, how do you account for that? Is that like freak circumstance, whatever? Like, you can't account for that, right? Those people, those situations, those circumstances lining up, Jack Johnson literally playing at my 30th on the day that I turned 30. Okay, it wasn't at my house. It wasn't a private gig. I was enjoying it with 10,000 others, but insane, right? Absolutely insane. Another one, a money one, right? A lot of people like to manifest money. This was before I was married. I was buying the engagement ring for my wife. And I was short. I was $1,200 short, and I didn't want to take it out of our bank account because I didn't want her to see what I was doing, right? Because we shared a bank account at that point. So I'm manifesting hardcore, $1,200, $1,200, $1,200. Had no idea, was just open to it happening. And anyway, there's a horse race that happens in November, first Tuesday of November in Melbourne, in Australia. It's called the Melbourne Cup, massive horse race. There's 23 runners, like 23 horses in the one race. So hard to pick a winner, right? Nobody ever picks a winner when there's 23 horses, and it's 3,200. It's a 2-mile race. So I'm down at my mum and dad's for a Melbourne Cup sweep. My dad's been running it for 30 years. We all chip $50 in, and there's 2 hats, and your name gets out of this hat, and a horse gets out of that hat, and that's the runner that you've got. So first prize is $700 for that. And remember, I'm manifesting for $1,200. And anyway, so I'm down there for the night before the race, and we're having a few drinks, bit of a party. And somebody pulled out. They're like, "No, I'm done. I can't make it. I can't get there. I'm not going to put my $50 in, blah, blah, blah." So dad's like, "All right, buddy, someone's out. We're short one person." So I just opened my wallet, didn't even think, opened my wallet, chucked him $50 and said, "Here, I'll make up the numbers," right? So I just made it happen. All right, cool. So name out of this, horse out of that, name out of that hat, horse out of that hat. Still not even thinking anything really. Anyway, next day, the race is happening. I'm watching the race. My horses came first and second. First prize 700, second prize 500, $1,200, bang, like that. Completely random. Like, I couldn't even choose the horse I wanted. That was literally the universe taking care of the situation, the circumstance, drawing things out of a hat. Man, I could sit here and take up the rest of your day, your night, your weekend, wherever you are. And I have so many. The house that I'm living in right now, we live in 130 acres on the beach in an island that makes up the Fiji Islands. I manifested this exact house. This house is old. There'd been nobody that lived in it for 11 years before we were here. I was looking at this every single day on Google Maps. I had it printed out. I was actively manifesting in the morning of me living here, picturing, feeling everything, and flew over here. And we're getting shown all of these other properties and everything. And they go, nah, he would not even take me there. The agent wouldn't even take me here. And I said, hey, I just want to see it. Just take me here. And anyway, everything's overgrown. You know, if you've ever been here, there's stuff, you drop a toothpick and it turns into a tree in a couple of days. It's crazy. Everything overgrows. So I'm hacking through with this cane knife. And anyway, I check it all out and I'm breathing, touching, feeling everything. And yeah, here I am, literally living here in the exact house that, you know, there was no chance of that ever happening. Lined it all up. So I have heaps of it. So hopefully this session has helped you a bit. I don't know whether you've done any manifestation in the past or if you're just starting out. Our website, the Lifestyle Co website, there's some stuff on there. I'm going to put together I might even do it as an audio, like a guided manifestation audio, and chuck it up on there. So keep an eye on that. If you haven't actually, if you haven't, you should subscribe to that, because then you'll get the email list of when I update things and when I put things out. We got a whole heap of stuff coming. We got the 2021 planner with all the coaching programs and everything there. So if you know people who are want help with this stuff, we go through all that. When people buy the planner, they get access to all of the training for that: goal setting, affirmations, vision boards, vision and mission statements, all of that sort of stuff to guide them through and help them put all that stuff together. So yeah, that's all there as well. So I will, I'll keep you guys updated. I'll let you know if you're subscribed to that, you'll hear, or if you're following us on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you'll hear once I've got the that guided meditation audio type thing together. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great, depending on where you are, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, evening, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome, Mike. Thanks very much.
No worries.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yes, always. Thank you.
Thank you.